Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2020 horror thriller Spell, a film that is directed by Mark Tonderai, and it stars Omari Hardwick, Loretta Devine, Lorraine Burrows and John Beasley. And it focuses on a character called Marcus T. Woods, played by Omari Hardwick, who is a tough lawyer who discovers that his father, who he had a turbulent upbringing with, has passed away, and he has to attend his father's funeral. So he takes himself and his family, his teenage daughter and his teenage son, as well as his wife, and they fly down to the funeral in the light aircraft that he pilots himself. However, the plane crashes, and he ends up in rural Appalachia, wherever that is. I thought it was the deep south of America, but I could be wrong. And he finds himself in the attic bedroom of an elderly lady called Eloise, who just happens to perform a little bit of black magic and would appear to be keeping him there against his will, and all he wants to do is find out what has happened to his family. Right, so that is the basic premise here of the film. What are my thoughts on Spell? Well, after looking at a trailer and reading the plot for this film, it sounded an awful lot like Misery to me. And yes, you could make those comparisons, I guess. Yes, he is kept in like a bed against his will for the most part, and a stroke of room. And yes, there is an elderly woman who's a little bit batty, I guess. But that there are where the similarities end, I would suggest here. This one, it's a very watchable horror thriller for the most part. It is littered with a few plot holes that kind of rear their head a few times, but because it's quite a watchable film, you're kind of happy to put them to one side. But I will talk about some of them. The thing is with this film, she keeps him in this attic bedroom. They don't strap him down or anything. Well, not physically. She kind of uses voodoo and black magic to keep him in his place. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, because they don't seem to leave him to keep him under guard very well. They keep going off somewhere, and he keeps getting out of the room and exploring the property, and as you would, if he's desperate to find his family, so he would look for any way to be able to do this. It just seemed that if this family's reasons for keeping there are pretty sinister, which they clearly are, they don't do a very good job of keeping him where he needs to be and keeping him restrained or under a spell all the time and things. So it just raised a lot of questions. I get that the film needed to do it because he needed to explore his surroundings, because you wouldn't get much of a film with him in a bed for an hour and a half. But it just also didn't make an awful lot of sense at the same time. It's gets a little bit unbelievable by the end. He kind of turns into Rambo a little bit, and there's a scene that is very, very effective in this film where he wakes up and he thinks he's got a serious foot injury, and when he explores it further, he discovers that there's like a huge nail in there that's been basically hammered in there. And there's a couple of really hard to watch graphic scenes of him removing this nail and putting it back in so that he doesn't arouse suspicion that he's been wandering about. Very graphic, very well done. But then you get the trope here of, you could see the gangrene and things like that. This would not heal very quickly, and you would barely be able to put your foot down, if at all, and the pain would be excruciating 24/7, I'm sure. But he's kind of hopping about like nothing's wrong really with this, and I get it's a movie. I get they've got to move the plot along and stuff, but they did such a good job of showing this injury very graphically and then they kind of forget that a little bit. So there are a little bit of plot devices and things here and there that make you roll your eyes and stuff, but it still makes the film very, very watchable. And like I say, it does get a little bit unbelievable by the end, but it shows that his patience and your patience as an audience member does pay off at the end, because yes, okay, it's a little bit unbelievable, but it's undeniably satisfying, the ending that we get here. And I did enjoy it. I thought it was an interesting psychological, well, not psychological, horror thriller, and it was nicely done, nicely filmed, good performances by everybody. And I thought that Loretta Devine, who plays Eloise, played a very, very interesting screen villain. I thought she was very watchable, a very fun performance, if you like, and I enjoyed it every time she was on screen. Yes, you could also say that this film is Jordan Peele-esque inspired, I guess. I suppose you could make those comparisons. I get why some people would make the comparisons. I'm not convinced myself. Yeah, there is a little bit of the DNA in there, but for the most part it doesn't lean on the political and racial messages in Jordan Peele's films, this one. So I'm not going to lie, I didn't expect to enjoy this one as much as I did. It's very, very watchable, but yes, there are some really daft plot devices here and there, or convenient plot devices here and there. But I did enjoy it, so I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. So that is my review for Spell. I hope you liked it. If you did, don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you're new to Screen Stars. And I will be back very soon with more content. Thank you very much for watching.